If you want to see God clearly, watch Jesus closely. I'm Seth Dahl, and this is Prophetic Families. One of my favorite characters in the Bible is Samson because God gave him so much strength, no enemy could stop him. But his strength to defeat enemies was all dependent on whether or not he protected one thing, his hair. Now we know he didn't protect it his whole life, and eventually the enemies stopped him. But while he was protecting his hair, no one could touch him. It didn't matter how many there were. He was untouchable and unstoppable to every enemy he faced. All of us want our kids to be unstoppable and untouchable to the enemy, so we need to know what they need to protect in order to see that in their lives. And here's a hint, it's not their hair. Nehemiah 8:10 tells us, the joy of the Lord is our strength. So similar to how Samson's hair was the source of his strength, joy is the source of strength to us. In other words, joy is as important to us as hair was to Samson. Joy is what we and our children need to protect if we want to live with God's strength in our lives. If we protect it, we will be like modern day long-haired Samsons, untouchable and unstoppable to every enemy we face. Now, all of us know the verse Philippians 4:13 that says, we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. And now that we know that strength actually means joy, this verse is saying that we can do all things through Christ who gives us his joy. God is providing his joy to us in every situation, every circumstance we find ourselves in. We can step into his joy, his strength at any moment we choose. Now, another reason this is so critical is because the average child in the United States laughs 400 times a day, and the average adult laughs 12 times. This means that as we grow older, we too often are growing weaker and weaker spiritually. We haven't done a good job of protecting the joy that God has given us, and we need to change and become like little children again, just like Jesus told us. Laughter is important. I've told you this before. I'm telling you again. Joy is important. Just like hair was important to Samson, joy is important to us. Now, one time I was speaking at a church about this, and I told people we were going to fight the enemy of sickness for people in the meeting, similar to a story I told you before. And to do this, we were going to minister to the sick by laughing at their sickness. We weren't going to laugh at them. We were going to laugh for them. Now, there was a lady in the church who had a huge bump on her neck, and she could barely move her head. Her neck was totally locked up because of this bump. But when the person with them laughed at the bump, it shrunk down, and immediately she could move her neck freely for the first time in a long time. We defeated that enemy for her by one person stepping into God's joy through laughter. Now, because God is providing joy to us all the time, we simply need to agree with that joy. We can partner with God by intentionally laughing in whatever challenging situation we're facing. And all of us have challenging situations that we're facing all the time. So I have something I want you to do as a family. This is really, really fun. Kids love this. And we've already talked about some of this stuff before, but I want you to make a list, sit down with your kids, make a list about some of the things that are really difficult for you, some of the things where the enemy is trying to defeat you in. Then I want you to get some sidewalk chalk. You can buy a box, you can buy a pack, whatever. Get some sidewalk chalk and some water balloons. Your kids are going to have so much fun. Go outside, take your list, and write down on the driveway or on the sidewalk, some concrete somewhere, write down the list of things that are coming against you, things that the enemy is throwing at you. I want you to write them all down so your kids can see them all laid out on the sidewalk. Then what I want you to do is give each kid a water balloon. Start with one. Make sure they have enough to get them all done. But you're going to go out, you're going to send them one at a time, and you're going to throw the water balloons at the list of things that you've written down, at the things that the enemy is coming against you with. Take the water balloon, chuck it at it, and as you do, you're going to laugh. You're going to agree with God's joy. You're going to intentionally laugh at the problems while you hit them with a water balloon, and then you're going to watch what happens as the water balloons burst and spread water and wash away the situations and the attacks that the enemy has brought into your life. And of course, what you want to do is pay close attention. Pay close attention for the breakthrough that happens in these areas so you can share with your kids. Hey, remember when we laughed at that sickness for grandma? Remember when we laughed at that thing where we don't have enough money? Remember we wrote that down, we laughed at it, and we washed it away with the joy of the Lord? Now look, here's what's different. When you keep track of this stuff, your kids can see how powerful joy is, and they can discover, wow, joy makes me like Samson. Joy makes me untouchable to every enemy we face. So that's it for this session. Let's finish with another declaration over our families. Follow along with me. We choose to live each day in the joy of the Lord. We choose to do all things through Christ who gives us his strength, his joy. All of our days are about to become a whole lot more fun because of the joy of the Lord. Thanks for watching this session. I'm Seth Dahl, and this is Prophetic Families.